I'm recording now, just so you know. I asked you just then what you've been up to. You said you went to the gym, you went through budgets.
Yeah.
The fact that you were going through budgets with your manager, is that an extension of your need to really oversee the whole project from where to go?
Yeah. I oversee everything. Like, I approve every single budget. I'm involved with every bit of the creative. Like, even if I'm working with another director or another creative person, I'll be there from the start, like, help build the idea with them. And, you know, I guess, like, it depends who it is. Like, sometimes if I really, like, trust somebody, I can kind of have an initial talk with them. Like, when I worked with Jesse Kander on the artwork, I had like an initial chat with him and then sort of let him do his thing, and then he came back to me. But most of the time I'm just always sort of on it. Was I just on I don't think it's that much of a big deal. I think it's just my duty as an artist in a weird way, like to be able to sing well in a studio or to be able to produce or, you know, want to direct my videos. Like, if you can do it and if you want to do it, or if you can teach yourself to do it and learn, then why wouldn't you? I'm 27 and I have lots of energy, and it's not going to be like that forever. So, like, why wouldn't I want to make the most of the situation? And I think it's important for me to really leave a mark. And I guess, like, I was a teenager through the age of, like, Pop Idol and X Factor, where they take somebody who's just got a great voice and charisma, and you can give them like a song which they haven't written, and it's like a #1 hit worldwide, and they're a superstar for about 8 months. And I kind of saw the industry go from a place where you had to be involved in everything, in a place where real artists came from, in terms of like the tail end of even like Prince or, you know, someone like that still doing their thing and still being on top of the pops, for example, which I don't know whether you have that over here, but in England that was
we had
massive.
it for a while.
Yeah, but
and I actually miss it, to be honest.
Yeah, because you had to do it. You had to be able to sing live. You had to be able to dance, or you had to be able to create like a visual, like, I am this person and this is my 5 minutes to show everyone, and it's in a lineup amongst other artists, so it's really clear like who's gonna make it and who's not. Whereas I came through in an era where it was the tail end of that and the beginning of this kind of other like thing where you could just sing a song which you didn't write and you didn't have anything to do with, and it was, you were basically someone else's vision. And I just thought, that's fine for some people, but I never wanted to do that. Like, I wanted to produce and I wanted to write and I wanted to be able to tell my story and let people see like a glimpse of what's in my head. From the video. Was she the girl that's from the video? Was she the girl that's from the video? You lying, you lying, you lying. Because prior to being a recording artist, you'd starred in other people's videos as a dancer, did that raise any flags in terms of how, if any of that autonomy is taken away from you, something can be presented the wrong way? Was that a warning of sorts? Yeah, definitely. Like, I did some videos where you think it's going to be one way and then you watch it back and it's completely different. Like, when you were on the day it felt like this, and then you see the finished product and it was completely different. But I think more than anything I saw that artists that were more involved and were more like passionate and took what they did really seriously did stand the test of time. You know, I would then do like a video for them or dance with them behind like MTV Music Awards the next year and then the year after that. And I think it was, regardless of whether you like the music or not, or regardless of, you know, whether it's something you'd be into, if an artist is really passionate and if an artist is really like meticulous about what they're doing, they are there the next year. You know, I also was able to witness how music shoots work, or, you know, sometimes they are sort of 16, 17 nowadays, and you get a stamina for it. Yeah. So if anything, it was kind of a good warm-up to what I'm doing now in terms of just pace and understanding that sometimes you're going to be working all day and all night, and that's just how it is. I think that my blueprint for what I'm doing is always changing. Like, for example, I understand that this radio show is like the equivalent of BBC radio in England, and I never thought that a big radio show would want to do an interview with me. I thought I'd be like an underground artist. You know, I started singing in like cabaret and circus clubs, and I thought I'd be a sort of performance art act, and, you know, I never thought I'd be here today at Laneway. I never thought I'd have a big radio station doing that. And so when each thing happens, I think I have to like reevaluate who I am and what I want to do and set new boundaries. Maybe to some people, I've just like popped up like in their peripheral vision now, but I know that I've been writing songs since I was 16, or I know that I did EP 1 like 3 years ago. So for me, it's been a really slow climb, and it's just building on it. And even in my EP 1, I didn't have my face in anything. I wasn't dancing in it, whereas now, like, I feel more confident to show people I was a dancer, whereas in the beginning, it was something that I was almost a tiny bit ashamed of. Like, it was something that I was like, if I can keep it hidden, I will. And then now it's something I'm so proud of, and when I do my stage shows, it's something that I feel is really special to me. Like, sometimes people can, like, play the guitar amazingly, or, like, go crazy on the keys, or can sing all the biggest, like, high notes in the world, but for me, it's like, I'm so proud that I can move and help people understand how I feel through my body. Whereas a year ago even, I would have been like, no, I'm not dancing on stage. And when people used to say, like, do you want to, like, dance in this video, I'd be like, it's more movement. It was so weird. Whereas now I'm like, yeah, I was a dancer, and I had to work hard to do it. And I'm so proud now that I dance for Jessie J. I'm proud that I dance for Ed Sheeran. I'm proud that I dance for Plan B. It's completely changed my point of view of my background and where I'm from.
To bump into those characters now operating in the world that you do, is that funny to meet them as peers and talk music?
I haven't bumped into any of them.
Really?
No, not one person. Like, it's weird. I definitely thought that I would have by now, but I haven't. But I'm quite quiet in many ways. Like, even when I go into a situation like a festival, I'm getting a bit better, but I definitely keep myself to myself. And my bandmates I've known for so many years, like Cyan, for example, who's in my band, and he worked on my record with me. I know him because my mum met him in a coffee shop like 5 years ago, and my mum saw him, and he was like dressed, what's the word, like eccentrically, and so my mum was like, oh, like, you're a clean punk like my daughter, like, you should hang out.
A which punk?
A clean punk.
A clean as opposed to a crusty punk.
Yeah, I don't know, like a clean punk, that's what my mum used to call me. So she was like, you know, Cyan dresses like that too, so we should be friends. This is like MySpace days. And ever since then, we've been making music all the time together, and now he's in my band and he's a collaborator, and so it's easy for me to stay in my bubble. But I'm trying to, like, step out a bit more. Like, this morning I had breakfast with Flying Lotus, which was nice. But no, I haven't bumped into anyone that I used to dance for. I'm a sweet little love maker. Finding time to make my words better. Lately, not so present now. Not enough for your constant frown. I've got time, but you're tired of waiting. You only want me in open spaces. Can't fill your gaps with people. I know no one's so lonely. Lying to us when you're looking for so much more.
Knowing that FKA, Twigs and Flying Lotus had breakfast in Auckland, New Zealand before Laneway,
Yeah.
was that a chance for Fly Low to say, we could do something here?
Yeah, we did actually try to work together like about 8 months ago, but it was just, I don't know, like sometimes you have sessions where you just end up like chatting and getting on, and I think like the beat that he did in the studio that day, he put on his record, but the thing that we did like never really amounted to anything. But we were both like different people then, and I guess you grow and you get used to working with people more. Like I said, I'm definitely like more open to listening now to people, because I feel like I've really cemented who I am. For the whole year I've been like no to everything, no to interviews, like no to photo shoots, no to working with people, no to having anyone style me other than my best friend. You know, like everything has been so in-house, whereas now I feel like I know who I am most importantly, and other people can like get a feel for who I am, so I'm able to open the doors a little bit more and just be more of an open artist.
So tell me then, like you said, there was a time when you wouldn't do interviews, but you've been gracious enough to give us some time. It's a sold-out show. There's no need for you to do this interview. Why open yourself up in this way?
I guess I just see if I like it. I'm kind of the type of person, if I don't like something, and I just won't do it. And I feel more relaxed to do things now, but say if like in 6 months' time I just don't want to do it anymore, then I won't. It's weird. It's, you know, doing interviews is a complicated thing because you never know what people are going to ask, and also I don't really like talking about my process, not because it's a big secret, like it's no more special than any other artist's process, but it makes me feel conscious. Like if I sat here and I said, oh, I love writing over just drums, which I do, like I love writing melodies over just drums, that's when I feel the most free to like sing whatever note I want. But then next time I go in the studio, because I've said it out loud like 20 times in a day, I'm like, must write over drums. And it can kind of be quite restricting if you're kind of talking about yourself all the time. It's so boring. Like,
Demystifies it.
yeah, I guess so. But more, it's just boring talking about yourself. Like, it's fun. Like, I have this one interview today, and like, that's fun. But sometimes you're kind of doing like 20 in a day, sitting in a chair, and it's just, I'd rather be in the studio. And I think maybe people that like my music would rather me be in the studio as well.
Whenever I've been introduced to your live performances, it's been in very controlled environments. You know, in particular, television shows where you can really massage the presentation. When you get to a stage at a festival like this, where you have less control, can you do the same thing?
Yeah, no, I don't find it that challenging just to like perform and see what happens and see how the crowd reacts. Like, it's fun. You know, I grew up when I was a teenager in punk bands. Yeah, I grew up like...
Clean punk bands.
Clean punk bands. Yeah, when I was a teenager I was in punk bands. I wasn't like that good. My idol was Polystyrene from X-Ray Specs. So everything that I did sounded like a cross between X-Ray Specs, just like Susie and the Banshees and Bow Wow Wow. Like, that was kind of my thing. And it was really funny because I found a poster the other day like advertising for my first band. I was like, hi, I'm Twigs and I want to be in a punk band. Like, I really need a guitar and a drummer. And then I had like, I'm like Susie and the Banshees. It was so funny. I did it when I was like 18. And I remember my boyfriend at the time like drew a little cartoon picture of me.
You need that frame.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking that. So I don't mind doing it in a free way. But I guess the reason why I like to be so particular about my TV performances is because I'm always so conscious that, say if there's a TV show and it's going out every single Saturday at 7 o'clock and there's an artist on there every single Saturday and the lighting's always the same and the DOP's the same, the level of music's the same, the way even the show like to mix your vocals with the track is going to be the same as like the other person before you. I always think if I'm standing in a place that like 100 artists have stood before, like how am I going to make it different? The first time that I did a TV show, I don't get nervous before I go on stage because I love it. But the first time I did a TV show, I was so nervous, and I did it, and like my voice was shaking, and it's just such a weird experience for me because I don't know why it had that effect on me. But then I suddenly realised it's because I didn't feel like it was individual to me. I felt like I was just like my band were there and I was there, and it just felt quite plastic. Whereas now I'm really, when I do a TV show, I want to be able to bring something really special to the audience so that I can be like, yeah, that was me then, like, and I can see the timeline of even me progressing, like I had dances then, or like, you know, in Fallon, like I used the fabric then, and I can really see like from month to month how I'm changing as a performer and my ideas. It's like, what's it called, a chronology.